Man, put that away. The pastor coming. So, he probably spoke Bud too. Hey, Brother Jones. Hey, Sister Jones in, Brother Jones. No, man, they both at work. Well, your ass need to be nigga. Hey, young man, you know that? What we call that a 75th Baptist Church? We call that right there a little sin. What around here, between Yamini and Weston, we call this here a little twin. Wow, nigga. Why don't you give me a little bit for my cataract? No, you didn't put in on this, man. Man, look, she bending over. Claude, have mercy. The Lord is my shepherd. She knows what I want. Miss Parker. See, I told you, Craig. The weed be letting you know when evil lurks.
Welcome to the DAWN'S Kids podcast. Peace and blessings to all of our listeners and your families. We are sending you lots of love and encouragement and strength. We just want to remind you that we are survivors. We are built for adversity, and we will emerge from this COVID quarantine healthier, stronger, and better than we were before. So stay strong, stay home.
For sure, man. So today we doing a little bit something different today, man. You know, a little deviation from the normal Don Kids podcast during the quarantine time, like my sister just said. You know, we was sitting around talking in the movies. You know, we thought about doing movie like a movie review per se. You know, she came up with a great idea. And what we doing? Our top 5 best movies, Devin? What we doing? Like
Not top 5.
Not top 5.
We don't want to say top 5
yeah.
because there was so much argument around what to pick for the 5 series. But we kind of just wanted to play like a little game with y'all too. Just, you know, we picked 5 movies that we want to review that were like one of many all-time favorite movies.
We watch movies.
It was
That's
hard
what we
to
do.
pick, right? And if you've been rocking with us from episode 1, you might have noticed that we put movies at the top of the show. So we felt like it felt right to, you know, do something different. And yeah.
I mean, tapes on tapes on tapes, DVDs on DVDs, and now I got fire sticks on fire sticks. You know, movies on movies, man. Like music and movies that's prominent in the Leonard family for sure. You know, so that's what we was gonna bring to y'all. So I just think it was dope. And the fact that it's a game, and feel free to play along too, man. Drop some comments of some of y'all favorite movies, and if y'all like some of the scenes of the movies we do, please feel free to play along, you know, with us. But
yeah, we each picked our top 5 movies for the project. We had 2 movies. We could pick 2 movies from each other's list of top 5. And then what we did was we agreed on Friday for our 5th movie. But if you plan along, then you can do that with a person and have a non-biased third party pick the 5th movie off of your list. And yeah, let's go back. Let's go back to
Friday.
Yeah, to Friday. That's our first movie.
You know, directed by F. Gary Gray, but you know, starring Smokey, you know, Craig, Debo. And one of my favorite characters, Ezel. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, Friday, you know, if y'all don't know about Friday, you know, it was about 2 best friends, you know, grew up in the same neighborhood, best friends, man. One of them, Craig, lost his job. And what's dope about Friday, it's one day. You know, Friday is in one day. The whole movie is one day, hence the name Friday. Just being Chris Tucker's first role coming out, you know what I mean? To me, you know, Friday always gonna epitomize just like a cult classic because, you know, it just came out at a time, you know, and Chris Tucker just tearing down Def Comedy Jam at that time, just becoming and epitomizing Smokey in that role, just killed it. So you got Craig and Craig and Smokey, you know, and getting chased by my boy Faison Love,
Big Worm.
which is Big Worm. who Smokey is, that's Smokey Dilla, you know what I'm saying? Smokey sell weed for Big Worm, you know what I'm saying? So
can I say for the ladies in the opening credits though, the very first thing that I loved is how Regina King she was trying to sleep without messing up her hair.
Yes.
When I saw that scene, yes. I knew
the movie was gonna be dope.
I knew it was gonna be good. I knew that Ice Cube was in tune with, us as women, because that was key right there especially for black women. They know what we talking about.
For sure, man. And sleeping with her head, then she kind of like fell asleep, woke up, patted it down,
make sure, and that was real.
Yeah, and that's one thing about Friday. Man, it was just really real. It just was real. Like he said, he didn't have a script for it like that. He gave everyone they plot. You know what I'm saying? It was just like he did it in the day. Him and DJ Pooh. I just thought, it was just dope how they just started off as being best friends. He said he got fired for stealing boxes.
That was fun.
That was when he just kick off. You know what I'm saying? And then they wrote that like in the weekend. You know what I mean? And I just think that they embodied that. And
at in the opening scene, we found out that Craig had been fired on his day off. Chris Tucker, who is his best friend, is a smoker, and Craig doesn't smoke. So Smokey, Chris Tucker's role in the movie, he trying to get Craig to, relax on his day off, smoke some weed, and what we learned is that Big Worm, who we already referenced, Faison Love, is who Smokey is selling weed for. And so the plot of the movie is that Smokey has been selling weed for Big Worm, or supposed to be selling weed for Big Worm, but he is smoking the weed. So when Big Worm comes for his money, Smokey ain't got his money.
Which is the typical thing that happens out here every day. And that's another reason why, Big Ice Cube was in tune with the hood. You know what I'm saying? That happens all the day. Big Worm pulled up on him in an ice cream truck.
Which was hilarious.
Big Worm riding the ice cream truck. Shout out to the ice cream truck scene too, because if y'all pay attention to the ice cream truck scene, she wasn't in the movie, but that was Megan Good's first role in any movie. Ice Cube put Megan Good in the first role. So one of the most iconic roles in the movie is when Smokey go up to Big Worm and he say, "Man, count out my money." He said he supposed to count out $200. He count out 5 $20 bills, then flip them over and count them again to try to act like it was $200. And that's one of the funniest, iconic scenes in the movie. And the scene is so iconic that they was able to catch Megan Good. And if y'all know who Megan Good is, she came on to be a bigger star, one of the biggest, in her right. You know what I mean? She's a famous, accomplished actress, and that was her first ever movie role. You know what I'm saying? She was like, "Hurry up!" The little girl to say, "Hurry up!" And he like, "Shut up." That's Megan Good in the movie. So I know a lot of y'all who watching this already seen the movie. Y'all know the scene. That little girl to say, "Hurry up!" with the little blue hat to the back. That is Megan Good. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So
Big Worm tells Craig and Smokey that, he not only tells Smokey that if he ain't got his money by a certain time, he gonna kill him. But he told him, "I'm gonna also kill your friend Craig, who ain't got nothing to do with the situation."
Absolutely nothing. Craig just on the porch with him. He's like, "He's smoking my shit too." He seen Craig smoking the weed too. Say, "Well, look, man, he's smoking it, you smoking it. It's both of y'all dead now." So this movie really was real, you know what I'm saying? I think that's why I captivated so much like people like us. And shout out to Nia Long. Shout out to John Witherspoon, Pops, you know what I'm saying, in the movie. If y'all know who John Witherspoon is, I think it just was a dope movie, man. So, which was crazy, man. That was one of my, and then just having Ezell, like every hood, like y'all know Friday, man, every hood got a neighborhood, crackhead, neighborhood smoker, neighborhood something, and it's always a Pookie or something like that or whatever, a Jermaine. In this movie, it was Ezell, man, played by my boy Anthony A.J. Johnson. Ezell.
My neck and my
Oh
back.
my God. He tried to kick one of the first scenes we see. Look what right there, my neck and my back. One of the first scenes we ever see Ezell, except for in the beginning of the movie. If y'all check the beginning of the movie, y'all don't see the scene. Ezell running down the street with a TV in the beginning of the movie when they first see little Chris. It's like a little short scene, but you got to check it out. But his first major scene, my neck and my back, he in there trying to scam the damn liquor store, acting like he slipped on the floor. Talking about something, I want $157,000, but we can settle out of court right now for $50. Come on, man. That man said it ain't even wet over here, So that and in that scene, like just that scene, that's the scene that F. Gary Gray is. The guy to say it ain't even wet over here is the director of the whole movie. You know what I'm saying? He put himself in the movie. So it was dope how, you see these things and there's integral parts of it, but and that was dope. And one of the reasons, another like a fun fact, I was gonna throw out some fun facts doing this too. Another fun fact about the movie is it's the reason why everybody wore blue inside the movie. You know what I'm saying? You will see that because L.A. in '95 was in the midst of the real gangs. It was colored. It was really like blue, red. You know how the Bloods and Crips go out there. So F. Gary Gray from a prominent Crip hood. So and he had straight clearance to do the movie there, but it was that's why you see Smokey wearing blue, Craig wearing blue. It was not a stitch of red in the movie. You know what I mean? And that just lets you know how serious and what they was doing their movie at. You know what I'm saying? You got to they was doing their movie in a real live gang festive hood. You know what I'm saying? At that time, it wasn't like they were just doing it in Hollywood. They were doing it in the hood to the point where people they had to make sure wasn't no red in that movie. And that's why, if y'all heard the intro, Yamini and Weston, that was they was really on that block. Yamini and Weston was a real live Crip neighborhood.
Before we get off of Ezell, though, I wanted to say a fun fact about him. The character to play him, Anthony Johnson, he is also the guy that they reference in House Party, Follow the Drip. Remember when Robin Harris, he showed up at the party? He had like the Jerry curl.
For sure,
and,
Follow the Drip.
Famous line,
Test tube, baby.
Yeah, famous line by Robin Harris from House Party. Follow the drip, follow the drip. That was him. That's who he was talking about.
Ezell, for sure, man.
Yeah,
Ezell.
so it's funny to see them all connected. And then I was telling you too how I didn't realize that Ice Cube and Regina King had been in several movies together. Regina King plays Ice Cube's sister in Friday, and if you've seen Boys in the Hood, she was a friend of his. I don't know her name and character in Boys in the Hood, but she was in that movie with him. And then they also played in Higher Learning together. Yep. Yep. So they got their little 3 actors. There's several actors too. I looked them up. I'm not gonna name them just because, but if you can look them up, it's several actors in the industry who have played in 3 or more movies together.
Yeah, especially with Ice Cube. Ice Cube and his movies for sure. The ones that Cube Vision, like Stanley. The neighbor Stanley, man. Stanley was a big deal in the movie. You know what I'm saying? Get off Stanley's grass. Like things like that. You got your neighbor that live in the hood, that act like they ain't from the hood. Everyone got that one neighbor who grass just gonna always look good. Some people grass ain't gonna look good, and he just happened to have that neighbor right next to Craig. To make sure that was inside the scene, man. So I thought that was dope too, man. Then you got the neighborhood bully. Debo. I know over 10 key. Debo, we know Debo Sanders in the NFL. His name is Debo. You know what I mean? His nickname, but they call him Debo to all the NFL people. Debo is a name. Everybody got a Debo in their hood right now, for sure. And that come off that movie, man. It's about Tiny Leston. And remember we had the story. Our mama called him Debo. When she seen him in person. That was a funny story.
Saw him?
Yes, that was a funny story, man. She called him. A lot of folks don't like to call him Debo in person, and she called him Debo, and like, look, there go Debo, and that was a funny story, man. That was a hilarious story. But Debo was the neighborhood bully, going around taking people change, stealing from people and stuff like that. I know a lot of y'all know what's going on. I just like the certain scenes of the movie make me just like. The movie was almost over with. I wanted to get like when Debo was asleep and Ezell come in there and mess up the lick. They in there trying to steal. Remember they were trying to steal from Debo, steal the money back from Debo, and then Ezell come in there and take the money and stuff like that. I just think that was a big part of the movie too, because it could have been over with. So,
Yeah, so Debo had been taking everybody's money, everybody's chains throughout the movie, as simultaneously Craig and Smokey trying not to get killed, and they still don't, want to stand up to the Debo who was the neighborhood bully. And then, towards the end of the movie, how did they get the money back?
They didn't.
Did they get the money?
They got the money back from when they knocked Debo out. When he knocked Debo out, they took the money. Smokey took the money out of his top pocket after Craig knocked. Craig finally Craig finally stood up to Debo.
Right.
Because
Debo had stolen the money from Craig.
No, he had took the money. No, he never stole the money. You know what I'm saying? They never had the money. What happened was Debo and them had went into the crib and stole the money from Stanley and stuff, and he was supposed to split it with him, and he was like, man, no, that's my money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Debo was just stealing. You know what I'm saying? He took Red Chain. You know, so no, he didn't take the money. He never took the money from them. They never had the money. You know, him and Debo was the one that was over there going to that crib trying to steal from Stanley. And remember, he was like, Craig, man, whistle. And Craig like, man, I ain't getting involved with that. If you don't get involved, I'm going to knock your punk ass out too.
Yes. I was telling my brother too that this came out in 1995 and we watched the bootleg in class.
That's hilarious.
You know, which is hilarious because most people at that time, bootleg was not like something that you just were able to get on the corner at that time. You know what I mean? I mean, you could, but it was like more discreet.
Yes,
know?
for sure.
And the fact that we were watching it in school.
That was the biggest point. You can get a bootleg. All right. You was not supposed to be watching it in high school for movie day. Okay. Yeah. Even if you was supposed to be watching the movie, you're not supposed to be watching a pirated movie. Safe to say the teacher probably wanted to watch that too, you know.
Basically.
At the school. That's the south side of Chicago for you right there.
And this movie was shot in 20 days.
Yes, man. 20 days.
20
and was written in a weekend.
Yes.
You know. So it's a lot of things that happen. And shout out like in the one of the best scenes of the movie. You know, when you got knocked the fuck out. All right, when they talking about Debo, when Debo pull up, and Red come up like, damn, what happened to your eye? Red played by DJ Pooh, the real writer of the movie. You know what I'm saying? Him and Ice Cube wrote the movie. DJ Pooh pull up. He played their friend Red. You know what I'm saying? Red come up with a swollen eye, and they talk about what happened. So they was shooting dice or whatever. Red pull up like, man, Debo done stole Red bike. Red pull up with his dad, who played by the Red, the old famous comedian Red. I can't think of his last name. So it was Red and Red together on purpose. So cause that was his dad, Big Red and Little Red. So he pull up like, hey man, Debo, man, Pop's tripping, man. Talking about he wanted me to ask for my bike back. You know I wouldn't trip.
Right. It's
a grown man. And he ended up knocking him out. Then Smokey run up on him. You got knocked the fuck out. That was not in the scene. You know what I'm saying? That was a real deal ad lib. And I want y'all to pay attention to that scene. If y'all want to go back to that scene, just YouTube, you got knocked the fuck out, Smokey. If you look at the big strong dude with the blue shirt on, that is Michael Clark Duncan. That's his first ever movie role ever. This the dude from the Green Mile. He didn't won Oscars and all that stuff. Michael Clark Duncan, rest in peace. His first ever movie ever was Friday. He didn't even have a speaking role in. He was sitting down there as one of the goons shooting dice with Smokey, and he still honored that movie every time he talked about it, thanking Ice Cube for giving him his first role. So it's a lot of iconic things.
That is definitely a fun fact.
It's a lot of iconic things. I
saw that was his first role, but I thought the internet had it wrong. I thought maybe they were talking about calling Debo Michael
That was
Clark
his
Duncan.
first ever role. He didn't have a speaking role in it, but he was just happy to be a part of that movie. You know what I'm saying? Even before it became a cult classic, because he knew what was going to be a part of it. So that was his first role in the movie. So you got Michael Clark Duncan, Chris Tucker, and Megan Good first roles in the movie. You know what I'm saying? Ice Cube did that. You know what I'm saying? So Friday is also a funny movie, but man, it's history now. You know what I'm saying?
It definitely is, especially with the recent passing of John Witherspoon, who is 150% a cultural icon.
Period.
Like he, Period. Pops
killed that role. He's everyone's dad. He's the dad.
He is everyone's dad. And then his line of being in the bathroom, I'm being in about 30, 45 minutes, 45, every time
I'm in the kitchen.
You in the kitchen.
In the goddamn refrigerator, eating up all the food, all the chitlins, all the all the hogs,
all the pork rind. Yes.
You better put some water on that damn shit. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Your pops had the rolls up in there. You know.
And then the funniest part too. One of the funniest parts is when Pops was on the toilet.
Yes.
And Craig come in. And he don't want to come. Yo, I've been smelling your shit for 22 years. You can't smell my shit for 5 minutes. Then made it close the door.
It closed the door.
Close the door.
But to piggyback off of that, Craig had just been in the kitchen, and if you know anything about being at the kitchen in the hood in the black family, man, you know, saying your mama, you know, I wouldn't tell on my baby. She had just told him that he said, you ain't tell Pops I got fired yesterday, did you? You know I wouldn't tell on my baby. Yeah. 4 seconds later, Craig, come in here. Yeah. Now you know your mama told me you got fired yesterday. Craig looked back at the door like, what? So, man, that's just some funny stuff right there, man. Yeah. Pops was definitely integral. When Smokey come to the door, hey, Mr. Jones, I got to use the bathroom. What you got to do, number 1, number 2? Number 2, you ain't dropping no stinky load up in here. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
so,
yes.
That was some funny stuff. And then just, you know, and just having, my girl Yvette Wilson, man, that part, you know, Janet Jackson, look like Freddie Jackson, like that part, you know, it's supposed to be her friend coming over. What was her name? What was Nia Long's name in the movie? Lisa. Yeah, that was her friend, you know. And
her sister was Felicia. You know, when they say the words "Bye Felicia" nowadays, that comes from that movie quote, "Bye Felicia."
That's a good point. That's a good point. I was going to bring that up.
So everybody that's saying that now, you know, "Bye Felicia."
That's what he said. Bye Felicia, and she coming over there trying to borrow. What you say, man? Hey Craig, can I borrow y'all VCR? Yeah. What? Yeah, man, I'll bring it right back. I want to record the tape. It's the Mac. She wanted to borrow the car, but that Bye Felicia, it come from that. So basically a nagging person. She was the female, like, smoker, fiend, per se in the movie, man. So that is played by Angela Means, man. That was Felicia. And then my girl.
And she was dating Debo.
Yes, that was Debo's. That was Debo.
Felicia was Debo's.
And Craig had a girl, the most ratchetest girl to this day. There would never be a more ratchet girlfriend inside of a movie than Craig's girl. Okay.
Fool. That's how she come on.
You ain't got the line.
That's her first line in the movie. Fool.
You ain't got the line, Craig. You ain't got the line. I'm telling you, that was crazy, boy. He had to, and then when she was talking to Craig on the phone, it was a whole dude laying next to her in the bed.
I never saw him.
You know what I'm saying? Right there, like he has no shirt on, laying in the bed. So yeah. My girl said she saw you at the show last night. While she's talking to him on the phone, it's a whole dude in the bed next to her. Go check that scene out. If y'all ain't never seen that scene, y'all probably saw the movie a million times. Like my sister just said, go check the scene when she talking to Craig in the bed about being at the movie. It's a whole dude in the bed with her laying down facing the window.
That is done.
That is hilarious, man.
I am done.
That is hilarious, Joe. So that Friday just one of them. It's just one of them movies, man. You know what I mean? To just. In my opinion, just the cult classic, you know, Ice Cube making this, director's debut, you know, yes. And then, you know, that's real, you know what I'm saying, as far as the movie. And then just, like, you know, Miss Parker, all right? You got it. Miss Parker was part of the movie because, you know, so you got this, if y'all don't know, Miss Parker was this older woman, you know what I'm saying, before cougars was cougars, you know what I'm saying, put y'all in the frame of mind, Miss Parker would have been a cougar, you know what I'm saying, a woman outside, you know what I'm saying, but her husband was, I don't want to say...
You know, can I just push back on that for a second? Like, who's to say that Miss Parker was a cougar?
She had to be like 45 or something like that.
So what makes her a cougar?
She wore red pump. She was kind of like, I think, like the type of person that she was dressing at. I think cougar is a definition of a woman that likes younger men. And I think younger men would have been more accessible to what she was wearing. Like, women her age was not wearing that. So what you're trying to attract makes you what your prey is. So if you're looking...
So are you trying to tell me that women have to dress a certain
No,
way
I do not think.
age?
No, you do not have to dress a certain age. But I'm just saying, if you walk in a room and people, it's not that you have to do that. The world is the world. If you walk in a room and it's certain people that dress like you, it doesn't matter. You are elder person, older woman that dress that way. But if 95 or 80% of the people that dress your age is not dressing in high heel red boots with Daisy Dukes on to do the lawn. Mm-hmm. You know, just to do the lawn. I'm just saying, she's trying to. I'm not saying that. That's my opinion, but I'm saying the attraction that she got. Like Craig said, man, she know what she doing. You know what
That's
I'm
a
saying?
man's mindset. She might just like to feel like that.
I'm not
Anyway,
saying.
Miss Parker, I'm taking up for you. I'm not. You know, Miss. Nobody labeled Miss Parker as a cougar. That's
No,
all I'm trying
I
to
just
say.
said that. That's why, and like she's giving y'all the woman's point of view. A man would be like, man, look, I know some. It's look, a lot of folks in music videos have what Miss Parker have on, and ain't no people her age in them music videos. They don't even go that far up. No 45-year-old women is gonna be able. They're not even gonna cast them for a music video.
Damn.
It's not. They're not even going to that. I'm about to go compete. They don't do that. Not to go do that. What are they going to go do? That? It's just the facts of life. That's a young girl's game. Give it up after a while. You know, ain't no 45-year-old man gonna go try for the NBA. Shit, it's over with.
They shouldn't be in videos either.
But they are because
They shouldn't be, though.
But they are.
They definitely shouldn't be.
I'm not saying that what they shouldn't or shouldn't be. Miss Parker shouldn't be out there like that. I'm not saying.
Miss Parker is a character, and all I'm saying is nobody label unless
Miss
I
Parker
look at the
was sleeping with Bernie Mac on her husband in the movie.
You know what, we gonna have a conversation about the women and men and the
I'm
contradictory
just talking about Miss
thing.
Parker in the movie. She was cheating on her husband inside the movie with the Reverend. I'm
Was
just talking
he
about
a
that
younger
character.
boy?
Huh?
Was he a young man?
Not at all.
Right. So she wasn't labeled a cougar. I'm just saying she wasn't necessarily a cougar. That's all I'm saying.
On first look, we don't know. I'm just giving you my perspective. I'm not wrong for what I think about that. I'm just thinking that's just my thing. That's just my perspective. You go off what you attract. A lot, you know what I'm saying? So young men and men gonna be attracted to all, but if a lot of young men attracted to that too, they ain't attracted to. And then if you put on something older, not older, more women your age, you'll see more older men talking like I ain't. It's no big deal. I just know in the movie, the character that they put into movie was everyone liked Miss Parker.
Well, I just know.
And we call and men and I'm a man. We call and that's one thing. And any man that watching this, that's what men call cougars. That they go Miss Parker. So that means I'm sorry to say that Miss Parker, your name is synonymous with cougars. It ain't your fault, and it ain't your fault at all. That's what's like you say when people be like, it's just something from the movie. They be like, they go Miss Parker.
Yeah.
So that's just.
But just for the record, she wasn't labeled as a cougar. That's all I'm saying.
In
the movie, her character, I don't believe as a
right.
cougar.
That's what I'm saying. That's your belief. We don't know for a fact. I believe that. That's why I said that term wouldn't have been used back then. Right now, in this term and in this day and age, someone would doing on the street like, "Oh, girl, she's a cougar." Well, forget that, Miss Parker. I wasn't even saying about that. I know ain't nobody gonna sweat that because, like I was saying, that ain't nothing. Miss Parker, she was an attractive woman outside doing her. It's safe to say. I mean, I'm just like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like that. I just like. I'm just raised by that. Dawn's. It's different. I don't think the women supposed to be out there with no red pumps on, with their breasts showing, and some Daisy Dukes on just to do your lawn. If you want to, it's your prerogative. But don't get mad when someone say something about it. Cause Craig mom even said that. Would you look at her? But she could have been judging.
She definitely.
But she would have been dressed more like our mama. Craig mama would have dressed like our mama dressed. Like that was something she could have been seen wearing. That nice little pants thing with a nice little haircut, still cool. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Cables people coming through here, like she tell us, that was all. The cables people coming through here don't answer the phone. Miss Parker was I don't know too many of them.
Yeah.
So that's just why I'm coming at it with. But anyway, forget Miss Parker. She wasn't even that much of a factor in the movie. She was just funny because that's the only reason why Bernie Mac was over there to their crib to talk. That scene wouldn't have happened because it wasn't for Miss Parker.
Miss Parker.
He definitely went over there. But yeah, man. So that I just think to speak about the mom, you know what I'm saying, in the movie, she had some good parts in the movie. You know what I'm saying, for real. Like when she made the breakfast, and told her, I got some leftover pork chops. He thought he was about to get some of that. She made a whole plate for herself, which will happen. Okay, now your mama gonna make you. She gonna make you your first dinner, but she ain't gonna make you them leftovers at all. She ain't gonna make them leftovers, man. So yeah, Friday, man, like we said, came out of 1995, man. So try to think about what y'all was doing back in 95, man. And just know Debo, Smokey, Craig, you got Ezel, all these type of people that went on and spawned and been just great people inside of and it all come from one movie. It's safe to say everybody in Friday, whatever movie they did since then, no one gonna forget them from being in Friday. Probably people like Michael Clark Duncan and Megan Good like that, because they didn't have too many big roles. But trust me, Chris Tucker gonna always be Smokey. You know what I'm saying? Friday, you know what I'm saying? Ice Cube gonna always be Craig, and A.J. Johnson, he didn't play so many different roles in his career, but he's gonna always be Ezell. And then, you know, Tiny Liston. He got a name named Zeus. He has a real name, Tiny Zeus Liston. He was a real wrestler with Hulk Hogan. His name is Debo, off of a character from now on. And that's how, you know what I'm saying, powerful that movie was, man. So
yeah, it really was. It was, to this day, all the spinoffs that they had off of it, you know, some people
they
that
had
are listening
three.
to this could be arguing that the first one wasn't even the best one. Some people have their pick of the trilogy of which ones they like.
Yeah, you know you're a good movie when you can spin off. You know, and Friday birthday, to wrap it up, you know what I'm saying? Because Friday birthed Mike Epps. You know what I'm saying? Hadn't Friday been such a good hit, he wouldn't have been able to do it too. So Friday, you can look at it in different ways. Friday helped birth Mike Epps, the Friday trilogy. The first time we seen Mike Epps in the movie was in Friday. The first time we seen Cat Williams in the movie was Friday 3. So the momentum that Friday kept and held as a cult classic helped spawn other movies. If you a funny man inside of Friday, then your career kind of, and it's history. It says that. So Cat Williams' first movie was in Friday 3, and Mike Epps' first movie was in Friday 2. And all that came from the momentum from the movie we talking about, the start of the 1995. And shout out to Ice Cube and DJ Pooh for making the movie happen, man. And I just think that was dope, man. So
yeah, for real. And Ice Cube for giving them an opportunity too.
For sure, man.
Because sometimes that's what you need, is just people to look out, you know. So he gave them that opportunity,
and they did it.
They did a lot with it, yeah, for
with
real.
It,
and kept them, you know, on. People were trying to get Chris Tucker to do a Friday movie as of 2 or 3 years ago.
For sure,
you know, that's
trying
how
to
much
come
of an
back.
impact he made on that role.
Seriously, man. So
you know. So yeah, shout out to Friday.
Yeah, man. Shout out to everybody at home, man. Just sitting around, man. Just let y'all know, you know, go up in your get on your Fire Sticks if you're doing your DVDs, or if you don't just go to your on demand, because you know what's on there, man. Sit back, chill out, and definitely on 420 if you indulge in something, man. Sit back and get your vices on, man. Roll you one and sit back and watch Friday, man. You know it's gonna be 420. Sit back, watch Friday, and just chill out, man, and then just laugh. You know, at this point in time, we need to be laughing, and that's just free medicine, free game. Friday is a 100% highway to laughter, man. So go ahead and get in your car and get on the Friday highway, and that's that, man. Shout out for y'all
go
listening
back,
to us.
Reminisce 1995.
For real, man. What was y'all doing in 95? And for all y'all youngsters that's loving Day Day and Mike Epps, and y'all think Chris Tucker is just from Rush Hour and all that, go back and see Friday and find out and see how many things that Friday still spawned in 2020, man.